Yeah, hi everyone. This is how it went this week. Did pretty well, I reckon, considering had a lot of injuries. To be honest, I wasn't expecting to go up in the ranks this week. But look, with a score of 18 and 43, and with a ranking increasing of over 1,000 ranks, that's pretty good. I'm just in the top 12,000 now. Hopefully I can break it to top 10,000 next week. Looks like it must be quite a few sides ahead of me who have dropped off a bit. Let's just check my team. I think the real reason is because a lot of people had wits and I didn't. So we've got Tom Stewart here with a 95. That was okay. Not his best effort. Failed to make 100, which is a little disappointing because now a few people may pounce on him at a lower price. But I think people have got bigger issues this week. Some people don't have any trades left too. Jordan Dawson, 140 now. This has been a superb trading from when I got him. He's just performed pretty consistent every week since I first brought him into my side. So that's actually been a good move that I've made to help me, keep in touch and then move ahead of a few other people. And George Hewitt, 103. He's dropped off a little bit the last few weeks. Yeah, look, okay. I mean, he's consistent, I guess. Everyone has him, so it's not a big deal. What he gets, unless he gets injured, then, yeah, we have to trade him. But look, yeah, he's doing all right. Carlton, Hewitt. Carlton weren't that great against Richmond, conceding the first 6 goals. And ultimately, it might cost him a top 4 spot. Jaden Short, 84. Yeah, he's been disappointed this year or lately. Looks like a lot of people jumped on him and thought he would be like a 110 plus player, even a 115 plus average player this season, but he hasn't delivered. He's actually just under 105. So, yeah, disappointing from Short this round. I mean, it's not terrible, but looks if you went a Doherty or a Sinclair instead of him, you'd be laughing, I reckon. And I think this season probably went a few picks in the back line that were either safe or everyone went to, like with a Whitfield or a Short and even a Ridley, instead of taking a gamble with a Sinclair, which I didn't even know really who he was, and then a Doherty, which he's performed well in previous seasons, but has struggled in the last few seasons due to having injuries. So look, will I trade Short? Probably not. If I was going to trade a player in the back line, which is Ridley, which this is what I probably might trade him, depending. I've only got 8 trades left, but he'll probably be the last one to go out. 64 is not good enough. Now, I don't know whether it's because, look, he had a good last quarter. It's because St Kilda, rushed the ball in and they were desperate to try and get the win. So they were trying to rush the ball in their forward line to take a quick mark and really got a good, few good intercept marks in the last quarter, which is why he went from like a 35 to a 64, which saved saved it for an even bigger disaster. I think because Essendon dominated, and the ball was in the back line as much, so he couldn't get the kickings. St Kilda didn't get that many behinds too. So yeah, again, the kickings, he didn't get that many compared to other weeks when Essendon struggled. It was a good thing that we won this week. Fantastic performance. We should have won by more, to be honest. It probably cost St Kilda, a top 4 spot. It might even cost them a top 8 spot at the moment because you got Bulldogs and Gold Coast at their neck. And look, in terms of Ridley, he might have to go for like a Sinclair or Doherty, depending how much money I have left and how many trades I have left, and if there's injuries and a lot of nonsense that's gone on the last few weeks with illness, stuff like that. Where 65 actually scored more than Ridley, so it says a lot. He's actually done alright the last few weeks where I needed him to do well, or at least score a 60, and he's done that. So he's done his job for the Buyers, and hopefully he's done well enough to keep his spot as cover, because Jack Crisp, he will obviously swap with him this week. Day costs have his emergency this week, which I'll get rid of end of this week because he's got a break even at 8. So look, he hopefully goes up to 420 and I can be able to cash him in, bring in another rookie, get like 300k for him, and then bring in English, which is what I'm going to do. Not this week, but the next week after. And then whatever money left over, I'll probably trade in Ridley for like a Sinclair or Doherty, depending how much money I have left. Which we'll worry about that then, because it could be a lot a lot of injuries or illnesses or something, suspensions that goes on, which could probably happen, to be honest. Laird, 114, look a little disappointing. Probably want that 120 plus score, that 130 plus score, but look, he's actually the most expensive midfielder now, which is kind of surprising. Hasn't got the best average, I don't think. Mules has, which is really surprising. Actually, no, what am I talking about? Oliver. In terms of this week, anyway, was it Oliver and Neil all have a high average, but Laird's not too far behind. In terms of this week who played is what I'm talking about. He's actually got a high average in McRae. Not quite. No, he's more expensive than McRae, I should say. McRae's actually dropped him a lot of price lately, but he's gone back up, gone up a little bit due to his good game this week. So yeah, look, 1 of 14, not terrible, but he's a consistent player, which is why I picked him. Probably paid a little overs for him, but he's going to be in the top 8 midfielders, I reckon. Mills, 138. Yeah, look, I took his VC score. I originally had Miller as captain, which ended up being a good decision in taking Mills as a VC option. I got that right. Didn't get the captaincy option with McRae. Look, he got 155. He's not quite as consistent as last season. It's a bit hit and miss with all the Bulldogs midfielders, really. You just don't know who's going to perform each week. They all at least get 100 usually most weeks. So it's just, it's like a lottery ticket, basically, with the Bulldogs. Midfield and Miller, 100, a little disappointing, but Gold Coast were great from an overall for a team perspective. Everyone chipped in, which is what you want from a team like Gold Coast, who's usually struggled with that. They're not relying on Miller or a King this year, which is pretty good job from them, to be honest. There's a lot of other players who aren't as well known, have stepped up to the plate and delivered, I reckon. Having King out, they've got Casbolt and Chol, just stepped up. Look, 100 from Miller is okay, but if he has him as a captain option, you want that 130 plus at least. McRae, like I said before, fantastic game from him. Lost 17 points, which isn't a big deal, considering some people took a Miller, maybe even a Laird, basically this week. So even a Wits, which I don't have. So yeah, 155. That's great. McRae, if you had him as captain, you'd be laughing. After a couple disappointing weeks, McRae. Cripps 79, took a bit disappointing. Yeah, I don't know what's gone on with Cripps. Like the second half, or the last couple months, he's just dropped off a bit. Whether that's injuries again, I don't know. Just 79 is not good enough. And he's only averaging 113, so he'll go down in price for probably another couple of weeks. And it's just last week was okay, but he's not getting the 140 plus scores. Now I don't know if that's because of Walsh. Shearer is out, so that may help Cripps, but didn't this week. I know Carlton had a poor game. I mean, we've got a lot of clangers this round, I think, too, which affected his score. And I think that's the main reason why he scores. He did all getting the right in terms of getting the ball. Got a lot of touches, but just failed to convert those touches into good use. So, which sort of, deflates his score. He probably could have played a lot better game with his touches. But at the end of the day, it's the large reason why Carlton lost. This disposal wasn't good enough when it mattered. Yeah, here we go. Greg Clark, he actually did end up playing as an emergency. I think McGovern got out and scored 44. So, which might have, helped just helped me getting 18 on the park, because I was worried about this week with Carroll not end up being playing, so I had to get rid of him, I think, for Jackson Clark. What was he, Jason Clark? I can't remember his first name. Got probably butchered that. Which ended up scoring a 45, which is okay. I mean, ideally you want 60 from both of these guys. Owens didn't play, obviously. So look, there's a player I wasn't expecting, Clark to come on. And he did. Well, maybe later on. 44, it's okay. If he played the whole game, maybe 60 or 70, and it would have got a few more points. So at the end of the day, look, glad I kept him, I guess, because his price has increased. Some people got rid of him. They traded him out for a lower price, Will I trade him this week? I'm not too sure. I don't know if he's going to play. He might. He's probably on the fence. Look, it depends on what West Coast want to do. He plays my side, Essendon, so I don't know what they want to do West Coast. Obviously Mullins is injured, and Jason Clark, I butchered his name, got 45. He'll be on the bubble this week, so he may make me cash if he plays. Hopefully he does for cover. At least I got 2 players here that could cover me during the rest of the season, so hopefully I don't need it. If a player is out or something happens halfway through a round and late out, I can have an emergency option, so it's not the end of the world. And obviously Oliver Neal and Brayshaw will come back in this week. Rory O'Brien, I got rid of Gawn for O'Brien, which is a mediocre move. I mean, none of the rucks really went off this round. A lot of people brought in Wits, and he only scored a 70, and then he went down in value too. So it's a bit of a win trade, I think, compared for this week anyway. I got 20 points in the competition, and I brought in O'Brien at a cheaper price. So it's won this week. I think Wits will probably still outscore O'Brien, although O'Brien can go big. I think playing off against each other didn't really benefit each other. O'Brien was pretty good for the first 3 quarters, but dropped off in the last. So, look, I was expecting 110 from him, so another 10 points. Could have gotten another 15, whatever, points. And another stuffer up this week was Tinkle, who I brought in for Hayes, which to get in cash, which will help me for this week anyway to bring in Bond. But look, just a lot of nonsense has gone on with the rucks. If you hold on to Bruce, he got injured. So at the end of the day, I'm glad I got rid of him. For Darcy, which, he's just been unlucky, Bruce. So him getting injured now, and you got Hayes. He didn't get selected. Tinkle got selected. Hayes might have to come back in. So, yeah, I don't know with the ruckman. Anyway, he's just an emergency anyway. I don't know how long Tickle is out for. Which, with Darcy, you may need a backup option. It's just with the ruckman, they're just either not performing other than Wits. And even now, even with him, I think 70 was his lowest score. There's no standout. The ruckman aren't performing as well as what we want. I think Nat Nui's injured too. Rowan Marshall, he's got Ryder on the side and stuffs up his scoring. He hasn't done his job like he did 3 years ago. He scored average of 115 or something, over 115, I can't remember. Yeah, so Darcy, he will come back in this week. So it's not a big deal for the next week. But look, I lost, another 30 points. Dunkley, 114, just your standard stuff from him. Didn't go too bananas, but didn't go bad either. Everyone has him, so I'm not really going to talk too much about him. Parker, 135, a great score from him. Considering Sydney lost. Look, that's all we want from Parker. Glad I brought him in when I did, because he's actually gone up in price. And he's probably going to continue to go up in more. Zach Butters, 68. Look, he had a fantastic first quarter, and then he got injured, and he's going to have to be a trade out. But looks like that's going to be the best option, because he's going to be out for a few weeks. Look, he was on track to get a 130, 140 plus score if that was the case. He'd been probably almost a lock on the side for the rest of the year. And look, that would have been beneficial for me, because it would have improved my score. And now I have to do another trade, and it's just had a couple of injuries this week. And it's just gone with the Port Adelaide players all from one game. And the match wasn't a complete disaster, because I had Mills and Parker, the Sydney players, did well. So that wasn't too bad. But I have to trade him for, probably going to bring in Heaney, to be honest, because he's a bit cheaper. And could I afford, what's his name, Liberatore? Probably not. So Heaney's a bit cheaper. And I might be able to make a bit of cash. Would help me to bring in English. And probably haven't just enough money to hopefully bring in, like I said before, a Sinclair or Doherty. So that's going to be probably a Heaney by the looks of it, because I can't afford Liberatore. And maybe it could later in a few weeks' time, but Liberatore's price isn't going to go down. It's just going to stay steady like it has for the whole year. His price, like he's only really fluctuate like a $40,000-$50,000 differential, which is crazy. He's been very, consistent. His price just hasn't changed that much. Jeffrey, 65. He probably has to go now. He's done his job. He's made plenty of cash, so he's going to go for Bont. And Curtis, obviously, he was his buy, and Rioli scored 25, which for the amount of time we got was all right. Emergency, he hopped on the last quarter. So look, I was hoping there might have been an injury earlier on, and he got a 60 or 70 just for his price to increase more. But because Roses didn't play, which had me worried too if I was going to field 18, which I believe I did in the end anyway. How much did I field in? I got 1, 2, so 6 at the fans, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. So I did anyway. So it's not a big deal. But he could have got like another 60 or 70 again. So he'd probably trade out next week, maybe for English, which is what I'm planning. Because he will go up to hopefully a 270 or 280. So in terms of trades, like I said before, we'll bring in English. I mean, not English, Bont. Yeah, so back to it. Sorry about that. We've got Jeffrey to Bontempelli. And we've got Zach Butters to Isaac Heaney. Yeah, so there's the trade, which I'm going to do, unless something, with an injury or COVID out or some nonsense that happens this week. That's it. Yeah, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe.